Good morning, have a nice day. Let's dive into this interesting story. So, I, 30M, have been dating my girlfriend, 27F, for 2.5 years. We've talked about marriage for a while, and a few months ago, we even went to a jeweler together to design her dream ring. She was really excited, and I knew how much the surprise element of the proposal meant to her. She's mentioned how important the surprise was since we started ring shopping and that it has been a childhood dream for her. A few days ago, her car needed maintenance, so I offered to take it to the dealership for her. They told me it would take about 1.5 to 2 hours, and I realized this was the perfect opportunity to go pick up the ring, which had just been finished. I didn't want to ruin the surprise, so I tried to be sneaky. I turned off my location services, or at least I thought I did, called an Uber, and headed to the jeweler. It took about 45 minutes total. I picked up the ring, and for what it's worth, I went way over budget to make sure it was exactly what she wanted, and then turned my phone service back on. That's when I saw several missed messages from her. Turns out, I didn't fully disable my location and she had checked it when I wasn't answering her texts. She saw I was at the jewelry store and put 2 and 2 together. She confronted me immediately. I tried to cover it by saying I was still shopping around and negotiating prices at different jewelers. She didn't buy it. I eventually came clean and told her the truth, that I had gone to pick up the ring. She flipped. She got really upset and said I ruined the entire proposal. I have yet to propose. She said it felt like I didn't care about her dream and that I was selfish for not trying harder to keep it a surprise. At one point, she even demanded I buy her a new ring. Now, I already felt awful. I knew how important the surprise was to her, and my stomach dropped when I saw those texts saying she knew where I was. But I never expected her to react with that much anger. She said some things that really hurt, like that I ruined the moment on purpose, and that I don't listen or care about her feelings. I listened, apologized profusely, and tried hard to convince her to look at the bigger picture of our future. She didn't appear to care about that or my feelings on the matter, as this would have been a special moment for me as well. I just wanted to surprise her with the ring she designed herself, and now I feel like I can't win. She keeps asking, how are you going to fix this? I need help, what do I do? Comment 1. NTA. This is a sign from the universe, a bright neon sign that this woman cares more about the ring and the proposal and all the superficial things way more than she cares about marriage. She wants to be a fiancée and a bride, not be a partner and build a good life. Ignore at your peril. Comment 2. So this. She tracked you. For no obvious reason. The mere fact you turned off location service would have given her a clue anyway. There is so much about the proposal that would still be a surprise, where, when, how, etc., but I would suggest that the biggest surprise could be pre-marriage counseling to check you are on the same page. You should be focusing on designing your future at least as much as designing the ring. NTA. Comment 3. Dude, she's manipulating you. She wants a surprise, but she checked your location? She's the one who ruined the surprise and she demanded a new ring. You did not do anything wrong. There was no reason for you to apologize. Your GF is an awful person, I hope you open your eyes. NTA, Short Story 2, Story about my stepmom and me. I, 19F, have a stepmom. Let's call her Sheila. She's not mean, we get along fine, and honestly, she can be really nice. We've had good moments. But deep down, I still resent her. And not in the usual evil stepmom kind of way. Before I was born, Sheila and my dad were together in their early 20s. I don't know the full story, but it was abusive. Bad enough that Sheila literally ran away to Florida to escape him and cut contact completely. Fast forward to when I was in 6th grade. I was with my grandma, who practically raised me, and we randomly ran into Sheila at a store. I didn't know who she was, but she told my grandma that she had just seen my dad a few days earlier, and they'd exchanged numbers. She asked if she should reach out. My grandma told her not to since my dad was already dating someone else. Well, a few weeks later, I met Sheila for the first time, and shortly after, she was living with us. Eventually, we moved into her house about 30 minutes away from where I grew up. After that, whenever they fought, which was often, she'd kick us out. I got kicked out of the house with my dad twice, and one time she just kicked him out and let me stay, but it was super uncomfortable. Each time she kicked him out, she also filed a restraining order on him. Here's why I resent her: she knew who he was. She experienced his abuse firsthand. She had already escaped him once. But she still chose to get back with him, and by doing that, she brought all that chaos back. Not just into her life, but into mine. I was still a kid. I didn't choose this. But I've had to deal with cops at the house, screaming matches, being kicked out, instability. All because she decided to give him another chance? I know abusive relationships are complicated. I know manipulation is real. But this wasn't the first time. This wasn't someone who didn't know better. She knew exactly who he was, years before I was even born. And now I'm the one dealing with the consequences of her decision to come back. She's nice to me, yeah. But I can't pretend like that makes it okay. I feel like my life would have been so different if she had just walked away that day in the store. And I hate that I think that. Any suggestions if you have, please? Comment 1. NTA, people here saying YTA very obviously lacked the reading comprehension to properly process what you are trying to explain. They think that just because you didn't mention your father means you aren't blaming him, but you never even made or implied that, so these people are making assumptions which you are very obviously clarifying to not be the case based off your replies. Comment 2. NTA. All the people on here saying the Sheila is the victim are missing the fact that she wouldn't be the victim if she hadn't decided to get back together with a man who previously abused her. Both of my ex-husband abused me and I got away from them both. If I was stupid enough to get back with either one of them, it would be my own fault if they abused me again. Sheila made a very stupid choice to get back with a man who she knew was abusive, and in doing so helped contribute to OP's troubled childhood. Comment 3. NTA, however, I think a good therapist could help you get to the point where you decide to go no contact with both your dad and stepmom. Both of them contributed to danger and stress in your childhood, and I'm not hearing they're different people now. So, I hope there's a point where you are well clear of them both. Story 3. Okay, so I, 49F, was on vacation with my husband, 51M, my son 18M and sons GF 18F. We were in Bermuda, where wild chickens are kind of everywhere. We went to one of those touristy attractions so the kids could do a tour. Hubby and I have toured this attraction enough over the years, so we just gave the kids a ride and were waiting outside. Before the tour started, the staff directed us to sit under a tent and wait for the guide. There were a few chickens about. A couple of hens had very young chicks. Other people showed up and seemed to like the chickens but weren't interested in them. Then a family of 5 came. Mom and dad on their phones. Oldest son too cool for his siblings. Daughter, 12ish, declared that she was going to catch a chick. I knew this was unlikely as they are good at disappearing in the brush. Well, daughter got too close and the mother hen squawked and jumped at her. This upset the youngest son 10ish, who started chasing the hen, swinging a stick at her. She was clearly panicking and desperately trying to get away. I immediately rushed over. As I was on my way, the kid threw the stick at the hen, and told him not to throw things at animals. Then told him to go to his parents. I was very firm in my statement. I returned to my family as the kid's father was asking him if he threw something at an animal. Since the kid denied it, I said, yeah, he just threw a stick at a chicken. The dad didn't say word one to the kid about his actions. Instead, he snapped at me saying, "We're his parents," indicating himself and the kid's apparent mom. So I replied, "Good. Then parent." I admit I was matching his tone. He just shook his head and said wow over and over in a really angry tone. I felt that I was right to address the situation directly with the child, as it was quickly escalating into violence, and I was sincerely concerned for the safety of that mom and her babies. But was I the a-hole? Should I have asked the parents to notice and prevent their kids' actions? Comment 1. NTA, you were an adult around children when children were doing something they should not have been doing. You interrupted and handed it over to their parents as soon as you could. All good. No need to worry about what the parents feel or think about it. Managing their feelings is not your job. Maybe you could have refrained from the then parent and matching his tone and whatnot, but that's minor. Comment 2. NTA, if they were being attentive parents, you wouldn't have had to jump in and correct these kids. Generally speaking, if a kid's behavior isn't affecting others, no need for anyone to intervene, but once it starts affecting others, I'm including the chickens here, just as I would a dog or cat or bird or any other animal, I have no problem intervening or with other people intervening. And for the record, I fully support this happening to my own children in my absence or lack of attentiveness. Comment 3. NTA. This is a perfect example of it takes a village. Firm, gentle correction and sending the child back to their parents was completely appropriate. Children need to learn, as they grow, they do not live in a vacuum, their actions have consequences, other people are going to intercede, and being respectful of other people and animals is vital to a peaceful society. Good job. Story 4. Okay. So my mom has always been kinda high maintenance, I guess. Like, she's the type who'll ask you to come over and help move a chair and it turns into repainting her living room and assembling furniture while she supervises. But whatever, she's my mom. I try to help when I can. A few weeks ago, she asked me to house sit while she went on a weekend trip with her boyfriend. Said it would just be Friday to Sunday, watch the dog, water her plants, basic stuff. I said sure, because again, she's my mom. So I move my stuff over for the weekend, and I'm chilling there Friday night when I get a call from my cousin. He asks if I'm coming to the family barbecue on Saturday. I'm like, what barbecue? He says, the one at your mom's house. Turns out, she threw a whole ass barbecue at her own house that weekend, invited like 30 people, and told everyone I was hosting it. She didn't even tell me. She just assumed I'd do it. I checked the fridge, and sure enough, there's meat marinating, coolers prepped, extra chairs stacked in the garage. She'd planned the whole thing and just never mentioned it to me. Just left me with the mess and dipped. I texted her like, did you forget to tell me you scheduled a party at your own house while I was house sitting? And she replies, oh, I figured it'd be fun. You need to socialize more anyway. I didn't cancel it because people were already on their way, but I was pissed. Had to clean, cook, host, deal with drunk uncles I didn't even want to see. Then after everyone left, I cleaned again, took care of her dog, and when she came back Sunday, she just said, thanks for everything. Everyone said you were a great host. So I told her I'm not doing favors for her anymore. No more house sitting, no more errands, nothing. She started crying, said I was being selfish and ungrateful, and that she only wanted me to feel included. Now my family's kind of split. Some people say she totally crossed the line and used me, but others think I should cut her some slack because she's my mom. So yeah, share your words with me here please. Comment 1. NTA. What your mom did was incredibly inconsiderate to you. You are right to not do favors for her anymore, or at least until she apologizes and demonstrates she won't take advantage of you. Frankly, you should have simply have left her house when you found out about the barbecue. While your mom shouldn't take advantage of you, you also need to stand up for yourself. Comment 2. NTA, that is downright bizarre, to plan an event and leave you on the hook. Honestly, I would have cancelled the party, told everyone she was out of town and unavailable. Period. She's very lucky you went along with it. And after putting you in that jackpot, of course you can refuse to do things in the future. And as for the relatives who disagree, that's the short list of who your mom can call the next time she needs someone to use. They will change their tune. Comment 3. Go no contact for at least a year till maybe she gets a clue. You should not have hosted anything. Sent people home. You should have embarrassed her. She'll never learn. Come back again, dear. Please take care of yourself.